Holy Week is a special time in the life of the church when we think about all the events leading up to the cross. And each day of Holy Week, we want to focus on one of these statements at three levels: childhood, middle, and elder, just to get different perspectives. And I hope you can tune in every day and follow along in this devotional series as we head towards Good Friday and then Easter Sunday. I'm here with Josh Damsey, one of our junior high young people. Mm-hmm. And Josh and I were prayer pals. Still pray for each other, but it's good to know you, Josh.
And good to know you too.
Got a question for you.
Okay.
We're going into Holy Week, and every day this week we're producing this video series. I don't know how many people are going to watch it. This could be the beginning of a big thing for you. Who knows? The last video we went didn't quite go viral, but this one might. So every day we're looking at a statement that Jesus made from the cross. And here's one in John chapter 19. I want to ask you what you think about this, because something, I wouldn't say weird, but something different happens here. So Jesus is on the cross, giving his life for the sins of the world. And it says, near the cross of Jesus stood his mother. And she was standing there with the disciple whom he loved, which was probably John. So Jesus is looking at his mom, and he's looking at John. The others took off, just saying. And he said to her, to his mom, called her woman. Sometimes Jesus did that. Woman, here's your son. And to the disciple, he said, here's your mother. From that time on, this disciple took her into his house. What do you think about that?
I find it pretty interesting that Jesus said that, they're now family, and...
But they weren't, really.
Yeah, of course.
But he said they were.
Yeah.
Okay, so continue.
Jesus wants us to treat people as he did treat his disciples, and he treated his disciples like brothers. So does that mean that we as Christians should treat other people who aren't related to us as family?
Josh, I'm supposed to be the guy that asks questions here because, that's my job. You want my job, don't you? Probably want to preach in this church too, don't you? I think my job, I might be losing it to Josh here. Okay, so what do you think the answer to that question is?
I think that it would be right to think of other people as our brothers and sisters.
Do you think that's an easy thing to do?
No.
I don't think it's easy. But it doesn't sound easy. It sounds because that's a lot of people to kind of relate to. How many are in your family?
I have one brother, and then a bunch of cousins and stuff, a bunch of aunts, uncles.
Okay. And that might be enough for a lot of people. But Jesus is saying here, everyone who belongs to me belongs to you. And he says, I want you to be brothers and sisters, and I want you to treat each other like family. Well, Josh, I want to thank you for taking the time to record this. We're getting this ready for Holy Week, and maybe people will think more about what it means to be members of a family of God as they celebrate Holy Week. Thanks for joining me, Josh.
Yeah.
Tahira, thanks for joining us on this episode of the Holy Week that we're just thinking about as we go through every day of Holy Week. And you and I are going to think about this dialogue that Jesus had with the disciple that he loved, And he said, that's mother, behold your son, son, behold your mother. What's up with that?
Well, I think Jesus knew that, well, he obviously knew what was going to happen. He knew he was just about to die on the cross, but he also knew that afterwards, after he came back, he would be leaving Earth for a while, and he knew that his mother would need someone to
Well, why
take
can't he
care
just say, hey, look after mom? What's with, she's your mother? What, she's not my mother. Yes, she is.
I think it's a little bit of, well, we use this cliche all the time at Grandview. Family of families. What does that mean? Well, it means that we're tied together by Christ's blood. And it's not just, friends that you go to see. It's a family. It truly is a family. And like all families, there are some members you see on a weekly basis, like life groups, or even more than that sometimes. There are some people that you only see on Sundays, and there are some people that you meet once in a lifetime. But by saying that you're a family of families, it indicates that that's a bond for life, and that's a bond beyond life, even.
So you think just because Jesus says so to his disciple and to his mother, I mean, is that enough, do you think, for us to enter into that family bond? Or is...
I think it's more than that. It's the action, because I believe in that verse or in other verses it speaks about how the disciple took immediately. It wasn't just, okay, when Jesus left it was there. It was like immediately took care. Wow. And I think that's, whether this person comes to our church once or has come many times, it should be immediate, the care of going like, do you want to grab a cup of coffee? Do you want to go for lunch? It should be...
Why are you being so nice to me? What, you think you're treating me like I'm your brother?
Exactly. And sometimes, you tease your brothers and sisters, and you have a little bit of banter, but it's all in love.
Yeah.
It's all in love.
Well, that's a wonderful truth. Jesus said, it's my request. We're very interested in Jesus' request. But the Spirit of God also enters into this, and we are born again. And whether we're told or not, we are brothers and sisters. And so that's what we're thinking about Holy Week, that we're brothers and sisters just because of Jesus.
It's a good thing to think about.
So that's it for now, Tahira. Thank you for joining us on this episode.
Thank you for having me.
I'm here with Don the Elder in our church. A lot of you will recognize Don, very active in a lot of areas in the church. And Don, we've been talking about Holy Week. Every day of Holy Week, we are on a different statement that Jesus made from the cross. And the one we're looking at now, it has to do with Jesus on the cross. He looks to his mother and he says, "Woman, behold your son." And that's John. "Son, behold your mother." And of all the things he's got on his mind on the cross, he says this to his disciple and informs them that you have a relationship with each other. What are your thoughts on that tiny episode?
Well, this year I know in particular when I was thinking about it, what really stood out to me about that is thinking about all that Jesus is going through. It's easy to read those statements just in isolation and just to see that as himself, just saying, well, it's nice, he's caring for his mom. But when you really think of it, just that big picture of all that he's gone through emotionally and just physically, the torment, the anguish that he's gone through in these last 15 hours or so, and then to still have that frame of mind to care for someone, to care for his mom, to say, "John, look after her." And that to me is something that has really stood out as I've read that and just thought about that.
How do you think John felt when Jesus informed him that you're related to this stranger? It wasn't a stranger, but you think that that's something we have to live with as Christians? Like this idea that because of Jesus, we're mother, son, brother, sister?
I think it makes a lot of sense, because the analogy of the family of God comes up throughout Scripture. Paul brings it up multiple times in Scripture. And so I think that's just woven into the fabric of who we are, of caring for one another. And at the very end of that verse, it does say that from that day forward, He took her into his household.
Yeah.
He cared for her.
Yeah. That's a Christian value, isn't it? And only Jesus can say that, because it's his blood that was shed to create this brotherhood. And I sometimes wonder if we need to ponder that a little bit more. Are we behaving that way with our family of families, as it were? Right. Well, thank you, Elder Don.
You're welcome.
For thinking about this with us. Hope you have a wonderful Holy Week and an Easter weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.